The cold steel of the handcuffs bit into my wrists like a lover's betrayal. But it was the judge's gavel that shattered my world. "Guilty," he intoned, his voice echoing off the marble walls of the Manhattan courtroom, sealing my fate for a murder I didn't commit. I remember the flash of cameras, the gasp from the gallery where my so-called family sat stone-faced, and then the needle, cold fire racing through my veins in that sterile execution chamber. My last thought a scream of injustice. "Daddy."
Why?
But death wasn't the end.
It was a goddamn reset button.
I woke up gasping, not in hell or heaven, but in my old silk sheets, the ones from my Park Avenue penthouse that smelled like lavender and lies. Sunlight sliced through the blinds like accusatory fingers, and my heart hammered as I bolted upright, staring at the date on my phone, June 15th, 2023. 2 years before the trial. 2 years before the world watched Arabella Harrington, heiress to Harrington Industries, get railroaded into a lethal injection for killing her own mother. I was back.
重sinh.
They call it in those trashy reincarnation novels, but this was no fantasy. This was my shot at payback, and the rage boiling in my gut felt as real as the Rolex on my wrist, Daddy's gift for my 25th birthday, the one he'd pawned off like I was some trophy daughter. I touched my face, smooth and unlined. No prison pallor or the hollow cheeks from those final months on death row. My reflection in the vanity mirror stared back, wide blue eyes, chestnut waves tumbling over shoulders that still carried the grace of old money. But inside, I was a storm. The memories flooded in unbidden, the fabricated evidence, the tampered DNA linking me to Mom's overdose, the whispers in the society pages about the black sheep Harrington. It was all him. Richard Harrington, CEO of Harrington Industries, the silver-tongued titan who'd built an empire on steel and secrets. He'd framed me to bury his own sins, the affair that drove Mom to those pills, the offshore accounts bleeding the company dry, the way he'd gaslight me into silence for years. "You're my legacy, Bella," he'd croon, while signing off on deals that crush lives like bugs. Legacy? More like liability. I laughed, a sharp, bitter sound that echoed in the empty room. My fiancé, God. Jax, where was he in this timeline? The Navy SEAL who'd proposed on one knee in the surf at Malibu, his dog tags glinting under the California sun. In my first life, he'd believed the lies until the end, testifying against me under duress from Daddy's lawyers. But this time, I'd make sure he saw the monster first. I swung my legs out of bed, bare feet hitting the plush carpet, and grabbed my phone. No frantic calls yet.
No.
I'd play it cool, gather the threads, and weave the noose. Downstairs, the penthouse hummed with pre-wedding frenzy. My engagement party was tonight, 280 guests, black tie affair at the plaza, the kind of spectacle that screamed Harrington power. In my old life, that's where it started unraveling.
Daddy.
3 whiskeys deep, pulling me aside in front of everyone, his voice booming like thunder. "You think a jarhead like that can handle my empire? You're embarrassing me. Arabella. Mary Preston. Or you're out." Preston Vale, the slimy venture capitalist he'd handpicked, twice my age and reeking of entitlement. I'd refused. Right there, chin up, and Daddy's face twisted into something ugly. "Ungrateful bitch," he'd snarled, loud enough for the string quartet to falter. The room had frozen, forks midway to mouths, and Jax, my rock, had surged forward, hand clamping Daddy's wrist like a vice. That's the moment the tabloids feasted on. Harrington heirs fiancé assaults tycoon at gala.
But tonight?
I'd rewrite it. No more victim. I was the architect now. Slipping into a robe, I padded to the kitchen where Elena, our housekeeper since I was a kid, was arranging croissants on a silver tray. Her eyes lit up, warm and oblivious. Miss Arabella, you're up early. Big day. Yeah. Elena. Huge. I forced a smile, but my mind raced. First move, dig up the dirt. In my death row haze, I'd pieced it together. Daddy's safe in his study, hidden behind the Rothko knockoff. Codes hadn't changed. 0715. Mom's birthday. Inside, ledgers, emails, proof of the embezzlement that'd tanked Mom's trust fund. The one suicide note forged in her handwriting blaming me for pushing her too far. He'd planted the pills in my bathroom, paid off the coroner. All to keep his throne. I excused myself, heart pounding, and headed to his wing. The door creaked open, unlocked. The arrogance of a man who thought his daughter too dumb to snoop. The safe yielded like butter under my fingers. There it was, the burner phone, the flash drive. I pocketed them, a thief in my own house, and slipped back out. Phase 1 complete. By noon, I was in a cab downtown, the city blurring past like a fever dream. New York in summer, horns blaring, sidewalks choked with suits and tourists, felt alive, electric, a far cry from the fluorescent hell of Sing Sing. I met my contact at a dingy coffee shop in Hell's Kitchen, Marcus. A disgraced PI daddy had blackballed years ago. In my first life, I'd found him too late, after the appeals failed. Now, Arabella Harrington, he grunted, sliding into the booth, his face a map of regrets. Heard you were getting hitched to that seal. What's a society princess want with a gumshoe like me? Dirt on my father, I said flatly, sliding an envelope across. $5,000, cash from my personal account. Everything. Affairs. Finance. The works. And make it fast. He raised an eyebrow but pocketed it. Dangerous game.
Kid.
Richard Harrington doesn't play nice. Neither do I anymore. My voice was steel. As he left, I sipped my black coffee, bitter as truth. Jax texted, can't wait for tonight. Love you.
Babe. Aura.
God. That man. Broad-shouldered, ink-sleeved Jax Keller. The guy who'd pulled me from the wreckage of my family's facade. We'd met at a charity gala, me dodging Daddy's setups. Him on leave, charming the room with that quiet intensity. One dance led to moonlit confessions, and suddenly I had a partner who saw me, not the heiress, but trust. It had been his Achilles heel. Daddy's machine, threats to his career, whispers to the Navy, had broken him. Not this time. Back home, I prepped like a soldier, yoga to steady the shakes, a glass of Pinot to dull the edges. The gown was emerald silk, hugging curves I'd forgotten I had, diamonds at my throat like armor. Elena zipped me up, clucking about how radiant I looked. Radiant. If only she knew the inferno inside. The plaza loomed like a gilded trap, red carpet unrolling underfoot as we arrived. Daddy's arm looped mine. Possessive. His cologne sandalwood and scotch choking me. Smile.
Bella.
This is your night. His grip tightened. A warning. Preston was already there. lurking by the bar with his predatory grin, eyes raking me like property. The ballroom was a sea of tuxes and gowns, crystal clinking, laughter floating like smoke. Jax waited at the entrance, devastating in black, his buzz cut sharp, green eyes locking on mine with that heat that still made my knees weak. He pulled me into a kiss, deep and claiming, right there, screw decorum. Whispers rippled, but I didn't care. This was my stage. Speeches started. Toasts to eternal love, Harrington legacy. Then Daddy took the mic, his voice booming over the jazz trio. To my daughter, Arabella, the apple of my eye, though sometimes a stubborn one. Laughter.
Polite.
Then his eyes hardened, zeroing on Jax. But marrying a soldier? When empires need building.
Bella.
Darling, think of the future. Preston here's got the vision. The room hushed. I felt it coming, that old script. But I stepped forward, mic in hand, pulse thundering. Actually,
Dad.
the future's mine to build. With Jax. Not your puppets.
Gasps.
Preston's face soured like milk. Daddy's laugh was forced.
Ugly.
Puppets? I'm protecting you from what? Your mistakes? The words slipped out. Venomous. I hadn't planned that. The flash drive burned in my clutch. Not yet. But the seed was planted. He flushed crimson, veins popping. You ungrateful. Jax was there in a blur, hand snapping around Daddy's wrist as he jabbed a finger at me. The crack of bone under pressure?
No.
Just the grip, iron from years of beauty/s-hell.
Easy.
Sir, Jax growled, low and lethal. That's your daughter you're breaking. The room exploded, flashes, murmurs, a waiter dropping a tray. Daddy wrenched free, sputtering, security, but I held Jax's gaze, nodding imperceptibly.
Good.
This was the spark. As chaos swirled, I slipped to the powder room, locking the door. Tears?
No.
Resolve. I pulled out the phone, dialing Marcus. Dig deeper. I need it all by morning. Hanging up. I stared at my reflection. Arabella 2.0, sharper. Unbreakable. The real war started now. The fallout from the plaza hit like a nor'easter. Headlines screaming, Harrington Gala goes nuclear. Fiancé clamps down on CEO Dad, across page 6 and TMZ by midnight. I scrolled through them in the back of the town car. Jax's hand heavy on my thigh, his thumb tracing circles that grounded me. You okay, Bella? His voice was gravel, concern etching lines around those green eyes. In my first life, this was when doubt crept in, his loyalty fraying under Daddy's onslaught. Tonight, though, he'd held the line. I'm golden, I murmured, leaning into him, the leather seats creaking. The city light streaked by, a neon blur masking the storm in my chest. Golden? Bullshit. I was a live wire, every nerve singing with the thrill of disruption. Daddy's face, purple with rage as security escorted him out, had been priceless. But it was just foreplay. The real knife twist waited in the shadows. We crashed at Jax's Brooklyn brownstone, a far cry from Park Avenue polish, exposed brick, dog tags on the mantel, the faint scent of gun oil and pine. He poured us bourbon, top shelf, stolen from the gala, and we collapsed on the couch, his arm around me like a shield. Your old man's a piece of work, he said, sipping slow. What the hell was that about? I weighed my words. The flash drive weighed in my purse. Tell him everything now. Risk him thinking I'd lost it? Or play the long game? Let him see the rot himself? He's always controlled the narrative. Mom's death. It broke something in him. In us. Half-truth. Mom's overdose in that clawfoot tub. Her nightgown floating like a ghost. Daddy had spun it as my fault. The rebellious daughter who'd driven her to despair with my wild ways. Partying. Sure. But nothing that warranted framing me for murder. Jax's jaw tightened. He ever lay a hand on you? Not like that. Emotional bruises ran deeper. I traced the tattoo on his forearm, eagle, anchor, trident, seal ink that screamed unbreakable. But tonight, that was him testing you. Us. He set the glass down, pulling me closer. He can test all he wants. I'm not going anywhere. His kiss was fire.
Urgent.
Erasing the night's poison. We tumbled into bed, bodies tangling in a frenzy that left marks, his teeth on my collarbone, my nails raking his back. For those hours, I forgot the noose. But dawn brought clarity, cold and sharp. My phone buzzed at 6 a.m. Marcus. Got something. Meet at the diner. 8 sharp. I slipped out, leaving Jax snoring, and hit the streets. The diner's vinyl booths stuck to my jeans. Coffee sludge in a mug that could have doubled as an ashtray. Marcus slid in, folder fat as a Bible. Your pops is dirtier than a Times Square alley. Embezzlement, siphoning company funds to a Cayman shell for 5 years. Mom knew, confronted him weeks before she offed herself. And get this, he paid a nurse to spike her meds. Make it look like suicide.
But you?
He pinned the buy on you. Fake texts from your phone ordering the fentanyl-laced batch. My stomach roiled, bile rising. I'd suspected. But seeing it in black and white, bank transfers,
Chat logs.
a grainy photo of Daddy handing an envelope to a white-coated ghost, hit like a gut punch. Proof he framed me? Watertight. Enough for the feds. If you want. His eyes narrowed. But whistleblowers get burned.
Arabella.
He finds out. He won't. I pocketed the folder. Sliding another envelope. 10 grand this time. Keep digging. Associates.
2.
Preston Vale. What's his angle? Marcus smirked. Daddy's golden boy. Laundered money through Vale Ventures. They're in bed deeper than you think. I nodded, pulse syncing with the city's hum outside. Back at the brownstone, Jax was up, flipping eggs shirtless, muscles rippling under morning light. Domestic bliss? It twisted something in me. Guilt. Maybe. For dragging him into this. Morning run, he asked. Plating food. Later. Business first. I spread the folder on the kitchen island, watching his face as he scanned. Confusion to shock to fury. A progression I'd mapped in my mind. This is why.
Jax.
Why he hates us. Mom didn't kill herself. He did, and blamed me to cover it. He slammed the folder shut, knuckles white. Jesus. Bella. We go to the cops.
Now. No.
The word cracked like a whip. Controversial decision 1. Shield him. Cops are his puppets, donations to the NYPD Foundation. Judges in his pocket. We hit smarter. Leak to the press. Anonymous.
Tank the stock.
Force an audit. Jax paced. Dog tags jingling. That's playing dirty. Risky as hell. War's not clean. I stood, cupping his face. Trust me.
I've
Seen what happens if we don't. He searched my eyes, seeing the shadows I couldn't hide. What aren't you telling me? The truth clawed up. I died for this.
Jax.
Watched you grieve from a cage. But I swallowed it. Just instincts. Bad ones. He exhaled, pulling me in. All right. But we do it together. No lone wolf shit. Relief flooded me. Hot and unexpected. Together. In my first life, isolation was my killer. By afternoon, we were ghosts in the machine. Encrypted drops to investigative reporters at the Journal and Post. Tips laced with just enough hook. Harrington Industries CFO caught on tape bragging about creative accounting. No names. No traces. Then the real gambit. I called Daddy's bluff. Dinner tonight, I texted. Family talk. Bring Preston. His reply. Smart girl. 7 p.m. The club. The Harrington Club, old boys network in Midtown. Mahogany and cigar haze where deals died and were reborn. I arrived in pearls and pencil skirt, Jackson civvies, jeans.
T.
That don't fuck with me stare. Daddy was at our table. Preston at his elbow like a lapdog.
Bella.
And the bodyguard. Smirk City.
Jax. Sit.
I waved him down. All ice queen. Small talk flowed. Wedding dates. Stock dips, already twitching from our leaks, until I leaned in.
Dad.
About last night. Truce. His eyes gleamed. Shark-like. For you? Pumpkin? Always. But reconsider Preston. Jax hears. Temporary. Preston chuckled.
Oily.
Stability.
Arabella.
That's what legacies need. I sipped my martini. The folder's ghosts whispering. Stability? Like the kind you two peddle with those offshore toys.
Boom.
The hook. Daddy's fork paused midair. What? Creative accounting. Mom found out.
Didn't she?
Threatened to blow it open. My voice was calm. A scalpel. Jax tensed beside me. Hand under the table on my knee, anchor. Preston blanched, but Daddy recovered, laughing it off. Fairy tales. Your mother's issues were her own. Issues you manufactured. I slid a printout across one page. The nurse's receipt. Anonymous. Of course. His face drained of color. Eyes darting to the exits. Bella. This is
Truth.
I stood, Jax rising like a shadow. Fix it.
Dad.
Or the rest goes public. All of it. We left him there, sputtering into his scotch. Preston whispering frantic damage control. In the elevator, Jax exhaled. That was ballsy. Necessary. Adrenaline sang in my veins. But as we hit the street, my phone lit up. Unknown number. You think you can touch me? Watch your back.
Daughter. Daddy.
The hunt was on. That night, sleep evaded me. Jax snored softly, but I paced the fire escape. City lights mocking my hubris. Controversial call, too. Exposed Preston next. He was the weak link, affair with Daddy's mistress. Photos Marcus had teased. Leak those. And the board turned. But it meant collateral. Mom's old friends. The charity she loved. Splashed in scandal. Worth it. For justice.
Yes.
For the girl who died screaming innocence? Absolutely. Dawn brought escalation. Stock plummeted 15% on rumors of irregularities. Daddy's calls flooded in rage. Then wheedling. Come home.
Bella.
We talk. I ghosted him. Instead meeting a bored ally, Aunt Lydia, Mom's sister, iced out for years. Over tea in her Upper East Side lair. I laid it bare. He killed her. Aunt L. framed me. Her hands trembled on the saucer, but fire sparked in her eyes. Proof. I handed the drive. All of it. By evening, she was in whispering to allies, calling emergency sessions. The empire cracked. But Daddy struck back. Jax's CO phoned. Anonymous tip, questioning his stability for re-up. Bullshit. But enough to bench him. He came home furious, punching the bag until his knuckles bled. This your old man's doing? Guaranteed. I bandaged him, fury mirroring his. Fight it. I'll handle the rest. We did. Lawyers for him. Me going rogue. Hacked his emails, Marcus's gift. Found the smear campaign. Forwarded to the Navy IG clean, irrefutable. Crescendo built. The board meeting loomed. Daddy scrambling. I crashed it. Uninvited. Folder in hand. Ladies, gentlemen, truth time. Projections. Ledgers. The nurse's affidavit. Gasps.
Shouts.
Daddy burst in. Face thunderous. Lies. She's unstable. Am I? I played the tape, his voice. Slurred. Easiest fix. Pills in her gin. Blame the girl. Silence. Then pandemonium. Shares tanked live. Feds swarmed by noon. The raid on Harrington Tower was biblical, black SUVs screeching to a halt outside the glass monolith in Midtown. Agents in windbreakers swarming like ants on a carcass. I watched from Jax's truck across the street, coffee going cold in my grip, heart a war drum. Daddy emerged in cuffs, silver hair disheveled, barking at the sky like Lear on the heath. This is a mistake. Call my lawyers. But the zip ties bit deep, and for the first time, I saw him small. Human. The man who'd traded his daughter's life for a ledger. Jax squeezed my hand. It's over.
Was it?
The twist gnawed at me. A shadow in the victory glow. Marcus's last drop slipped under my door at dawn, a photo. Grainy but damning. Not just embezzlement or Mom's murder. Daddy's ties to a cartel. Smuggling routes hidden in company shipments. Steel beams laced with product, funneled through Preston's ports. And me, in the first life. They'd pinned that too. Post-execution. When the feds dug deeper. Harrington heiress's dark secret. Cartel queen? Tabloid gold. Burying any sympathy. But here, in this reset, I'd nipped it early. Or had I? The photo showed a younger me, naive, 22, at a yacht party in Miami, arm around a cartel lieutenant. Daddy's setup. A networking trip to toughen me up. I'd sipped champagne, oblivious, while deals went down below decks. Innocence lost. Weaponized later. Over for him, I corrected Jax. Voice thick. Not us. We drove in silence. The city parting like the Red Sea. But doubt festered. Controversial 3. Mercy or massacre. Leak the cartel link now. And Daddy rotted forever. No plea deals. No cushy club fed sentence. But it risked blowback. Cartel eyes on me. The snitch's daughter. Jax deserved clean, a life beyond my vendetta. News broke by lunch. Harrington's CEO arrested. Fraud. Manslaughter charges. Stocks cratered 40%. Board fleeing like rats. Aunt Lydia called. Voice triumphant. You did it,
Bella.
the empire's yours if you want it.
Want it?
The Harrington name. Poison chalice. Rebuild it clean, I said. For Mom. We met at her brownstone. Plotting. Ethical audits. Green initiatives. A foundation in Mom's name for women's shelters.
Power.
Reclaimed. But Daddy's venom lingered. Bail hearing that afternoon, I testified. Remote. Voice steady as I recounted the gaslighting. The frame job. His eyes met the camera. Cold as permafrost. She's lying. Always has. The judge denied bail. Flight risk.
Sweet.
Jax and I celebrated low-key. Pizza on the roof. City sprawl at our feet. Proud of you, he murmured, nuzzling my neck. Warrior princess. I laughed. But the photo burned a hole in my pocket. Jax. There's more. Out it came, the yacht pic. The cartel whisper. His face hardened. Not shock. But resolve. We burn it. Together. Burn?
No. Use it.
That night. Anonymous drop to the DEA, coordinates. Manifests from Daddy's safe. No mention of me. Clean cut. Retribution's high faded fast. Preston vanished. Hold up in Dubai. Assets frozen. But whispers of retaliation. A brick through our window at 2 a.m. Scrawled note. Snitches die. Jax went full operator. Reinforced doors. Security cams. His Glock on the nightstand. Sleep, he ordered. But paranoia clawed me awake. Dreams of the needle. Daddy's laugh echoing. Worse, the board's counter. Loyalists. Greased palms. Leaked my instability. Old psych evals twisted. Party girl tropes revived. Society pages cooed. Arabella's breakdown, from gala brawl to breakdown. Invites dried up, Aunt Lydia's allies wavered. Optics. Dear, she sighed over lunch. Marry Jax quick. Stabilize. Marry? The wedding. Derailed by scandal. Now a lifeline. We fast-tracked it, City Hall. Intimate. Just us. Elena as witness. Jax in fatigues. Me in white lace from Mom's trunk. Vows exchanged under fluorescent hum. His kiss sealing it. Till the end. Bella. Honeymoon?
Deferred.
Instead. We hunkered down. Me diving into company salvage. Days blurred. Meetings with auditors. Pressers denying baseless rumors. Nights with Jax planning contingencies. Bug-out bags. Safe houses. He re-upped. Ironically, the Navy cleared him, smearing the tip as sour grapes. Then the twist hit. Sharp as shrapnel. A week post-wedding, Marcus called. Voice hushed. Found something buried. Your mom. She wasn't just confronting him. She had proof he. Hell. Bella. He got her pregnant. Again. Miscarriage. Hushed up. But the kid? Yours? No, his and her sister's. Incest shit. He covered it. Drove her mad. My world tilted. Aunt Lydia? The poised widow. My rock? The affair. The child lost. Like Mom's sanity. Why tell me now? Twist in the tale. Lydia's been playing both sides. Fed him your moves, thinking it'd force a settlement. She's the leak. Betrayal. Round 2. Deeper. Familial. I confronted her at dusk. Her parlor thick with Chanel No. 5 and lies. And the pregnancy. And snitching. She crumbled. Mascara rivers. He promised shares.
Bella.
For the pain losing the baby. Him choosing you over us. I was weak.
Weak?
Or wicked. You sold me out. Again. The folder I'd trusted her with? Compromised. Feds had half the evidence. The rest vanished. I walked out.
Numb.
Into Jax's waiting arms. Family's a myth, I whispered. He didn't pry. Just held. High tide, Daddy's trial. Manhattan Federal Court. Gallery packed, reporters, rubberneckers, Elena dabbing tears. I took the stand, cross-examined by his shark. MS. Harrington. Isn't it true you've a history of substance abuse? Daddy's enabling. Objection sustained.
But the seed planted.
Then my turn. The safe secrets. The nurse's testimony via video. Tearful.
Coerced.
He said it'd save the company. I didn't know she'd die. Jury gasped. Daddy. In orange jumpsuit. Glare daggers. Closing arguments. Prosecution painted him monster. Defense. Martyr to a troubled daughter. Verdict loomed. Tension a chokehold. That night. Preston surfaced. Email. From a ghost server. Meet me. Neutral ground. Or the yacht pics go viral. Your hubby syncs with you. Blackmail. The controversial apex. Go alone. End it. Jax found out. Hacked my alerts.
Seal smarts.
No way in hell. We went tandem. Warehouse in Red Hook. Fog off the harbor muffling our steps. Preston waited. Smug in a cashmere coat. Goons shadowing. Arabella. The evidence queen. Photos, I demanded.
He tossed a drive.
Yours. Now walk. Jax's voice cut the dark. She walks. You don't. Take down swift, 2 on the ground. Zip tied. Preston's nose crunching under Jax's boot. Cartel called. Your collateral. Sirens wailed distant. We vanished into the night. Drive smashed under tire treads. Loose end.
Severed.
Verdict day dawned gray. Rain lashing the courthouse steps like judgment from on high. I sat front row. Jax's hand a lifeline in mine. His thumb stroking my knuckles steady. Unyielding. The jury filed in. Faces masks of deliberation. And when the foreman stood, guilty, on all counts, the room exhaled. Manslaughter for mom. Fraud. Conspiracy with the cartel. Life. No parole. Daddy's head bowed. But not in defeat. In calculation. Already plotting appeals from his cell. I didn't cheer. Victory tasted like ash. The cost tallied in fractured trusts. Sleepless nights. The Harrington name a scarlet letter. As marshals let him out, our eyes locked one last time. You think this ends me? Bella, he rasped, close enough for his breath to sour the air. I made you. No.
Dad.
You broke me. I rebuilt. The door clanged shut. Final as a tomb. Outside. Press mobbed. Mics thrusting. Questions barraging. MS. Harrington. Will you take the helm? Revenge or redemption? Jax shouldered through. His arm a barrier. Bundling me into a cab. Home, he said. And for once, I didn't argue. Brooklyn called, not the penthouse ghosts, but our messy, real life. The empire? I handed reins to an interim CEO, a no-bullshit Latina from accounting who'd audited clean. Fix it, I told her over coffee in her corner office. The view of the Hudson mocking old glories. No shadows. My role, silent partner. The foundation thriving, Mom's legacy. Shelters packed but healing. Aunt Lydia? Cut off. Exiled to her regrets in Connecticut. Last I heard begging for scraps. Twists unraveled loose. Cartel busted wide. Shipments seized in Jersey ports. Preston flipping for immunity, testifying against Daddy in a plea that painted him as the big fish. He recruited me, sniveling on the stand. Said family first. Irony. Delicious. But the real pivot?
Me.
Therapy. Twice weekly, Jack's dragging me. Waiting in the lobby with bad coffee and worse magazines. Unpack it. Babe, he'd say. And slowly, I did, the girl who died. Reborn, not just vengeful, but vulnerable. I saw you die, I confessed one night. Post-session. Curled on the couch. The words tumbled, the trial. The needle. The cosmic joke of return. He didn't flinch. Seals faced worse than ghost stories. Explains the fire in you. Kissed my temple. Welcome back. Months blurred. Jack's deploying short haul. Me soloing the brownstone yoga mats. Bad Netflix. Elena's care packages of empanadas. I wrote. Memoir scraps. Cathartic. No publish intent. Society thawed. Invites trickled. Not as heiress, but survivor. Arabella Keller now. They'd whisper. Jax's name the shield. Controversy lingered. The kind that spiced American dreams. Op-eds decrying dynasty downfall. Fox calling it woke witch hunt. CNN hailing justice for the silence. I dodged panels. Let the noise fade. One debate night. Over ribs in Harlem. Jax grinned. Your call started a reckoning. Women coming forward, execs.
Wives.
Harrington effect. Effect. Not curse. I raised my beer. 2 resets. Re-up came. He shipped out for 6 months. Gulf haze. Letters, actual paper. His scrawl hasty. Miss your laugh. Hold the fort. I did. Diving deeper. Board seat. Green Steel initiatives. A scholarship for foster kids. Ones like the brother I'd never had. The sibling lost in womb wars. He returned tan. Leaner. With a Purple Heart scar fresh on his ribs. RPG shrapnel.
Close call.
Airport reunion. Me tackling him. Tears unbidden. Idiot. I mumbled into his neck. You're idiot. Home. We burn sage, his ritual. My eye roll and made love slow. Reclaiming inches of skin like territory. Pregnancy hit 3 months later. A curveball in a drugstore test. Shit. I whispered. Staring at the lines. Jax? Hooped like he'd won BUD/S again. Scooping me up. Mini Marine incoming. Fear nipped. Daddy's jeans. The violence in my veins. But ultrasounds painted peace. Tiny heartbeat.
Girl.
We named her Riley. 4 moms maiden fierce. Unbowed. The happy ending? Earned. Jagged. Daddy appealed. Lost. Rotted in Supermax. Letters pleading forgiveness, I binned unread. Preston? 5 years. Out on good behavior. Faded to irrelevance. Lydia? Reached out once. Apology voicemail slurred with gin. Deleted. Our brownstone grew. Nursery and blues. Jax's deployment's shorter now. Consulting gigs with vets. I spoke at fundraisers. Voice steady. Betrayals a teacher. Revenge? A detour. Rebirth, that's the win. One anniversary, Plaza Redux, but ours, rooftop. String lights. Elena's catering. We danced to Coltrane. His hand on my swelling belly. Regrets? He asked. Breath warm. None.
Truth.
The hook of death had unspooled. I'd woven something sturdier. The city hummed below, alive with its own secrets. But ours? Ironclad. As Riley kicked, I thought of the girl in the mirror that first morning back, furious. Fractured. She'd avenged.
Yes.
But lived? That was the miracle. And in the quiet after, with Jax's arms my harbor, I knew some stories end in tragedy. Mine? Defiance. American as apple pie and second chances.